CBS Sports HQ, I'm Suda Upadhyay alongside Amanda Guerra. And Amanda, with free agency set to start on March 11th in the NFL, the rumor mill really heating up, especially around some big-time names potentially moving around the league.
Yeah, we have the new league season starting next week. Obviously, people are talking about Maxx Crosby. Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III, he is set to become a free agent as well. But let's take a look at what is trending and who is trending, because this is your trending hour on CBS Sports HQ. The NHL trade deadline is this afternoon. Also, NFL free agency bold predictions. We're not necessarily going to get into that in just a second, but we will talk to our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, about what he is hearing around some of those big-time names, as mentioned. There is Maxx Crosby sitting at the top. Jason Tatum, Celtics fans rejoicing. He is set to return tonight. Caleb Wilson now out for the season. Keep it here on HQ for more on that. So let's dive into Maxx Crosby here. It's been a very busy offseason for him. He's gone on podcasts. He's been catching up on his hoops game. He's been working out, training with some MMA guys as he is there in Vegas. Maybe he'll head over to UFC 326 tomorrow night. Check it out on Paramount Plus. 28 years old, drafted by the Raiders in 2019. That has been his home up until now. Let's welcome in our senior NFL insider, Jonathan Jones here. JJ, look, you've got an article about your insider's notebook on CBSSports.com, and you do talk about Maxx Crosby. Let's start with him and potentially the Bears trying to court him.
Yeah, let's start with Max, who, Amanda, did you know this? His name is Max with two X's because he was born 11 pounds, 9 ounces, so his mom added an extra X because he was just so big. That's actually a true story. Maxx Crosby, I do believe, according to sources, is on his way out of Las Vegas. He has played his last down as a Las Vegas Raider. It's just a matter of where he is going to go. And when I posted that story a couple of days ago, it certainly appeared, and still does appear to some degree, like he could be a Chicago Bear. This is a team that wants to maximize Caleb Williams' rookie contract. They have the money to spend. They've been clearing cap space. They had Drew Dahlman's retirement. They just traded away DJ Moore. They're letting go of Tremaine Edmonds. And so they have cap space. Well, why are they making so much cap space? For whom could it be? Perhaps one of the better pass rushers in the NFL today. And you'd say, okay, well, why that, right? Why that player at that position? Well, first of all, he is a game wrecker, a game changer. He is the type of player that defensive coordinators have to game plan around on Monday when they know they are facing the Bears 6.5 days later. But the other point of this is we've seen the last two Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks, winning with their front four, not having to send extra blitzers and all that. It helps out everything. It changes the math. It makes life easier on the rest of the defense. And so in Dennis Allen's defense, if they can have a top-flight front four rushing the passer, led by Maxx Crosby, along with a Montez Sweat on the opposite side, that could change the game for the Chicago Bears and get them over that hump as they continue to ascend. So that's why there's interest there. They have the draft capital in order to acquire him. It's just a matter of, do they want to part with what John Spytek, the general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders, wants? 2 ones, don't know if he's going to get that, but a 1 and something else, perhaps, that could be what we see.
So the Bears in a good position. There are some other teams. Look, this is Maxx Crosby we're talking about, a guy who was named because he was 11 pounds. Everyone's been after him since he was just a wee little lad. Cowboys, Eagles, and Ravens. You are also hearing that they could potentially be in the market for Maxx Crosby. What do you know about those teams?
Yeah, so the Cowboys have that extra first-round draft pick, kind of don't have anything after that for a little bit because of the Micah Parsons trade. So could they use one of those picks and then a future pick in order to acquire Maxx Crosby? Certainly, you have to consider them in the mix. The Baltimore Ravens have been a team since yesterday, I've been told, very much in the mix. They're losing some defensive players. Again, they want to be able to win up front. Jesse Minter, the new head coach and defensive play caller there. And then the last team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And a lot of this has to do with reputation. Howie Roseman in on every deal, the general manager there. So why would he not be in on a deal for Maxx Crosby? But as recently as yesterday, the Eagles were also very interested in extending a lot of their young guys up front. So you would think that if they were going to make a move, that they would have to send away one of those players in order to obtain Maxx Crosby. So those are 3 other teams that could be in the mix. Ultimately, there are other teams around the NFL that have an eye on Maxx Crosby. Again, 2 ones I don't know that the Raiders are going to get that. But to get Maxx Crosby, a one and then something, again, that could be done.
Talk to us a little bit more about the Eagles because they have a couple decisions to make, one of them being A.J. Brown. Look, those two sides have been at each other for a while now. And I am being told, look, that the DJ Moore trade kind of wrecked the Patriots' plan to go and get A.J. Brown. How is this working out, and do we potentially still see him moved?
Yeah, so the DJ Moore trade, because he went for a 2, right, that it was a second-round pick, and of course they had to send a fifth-round pick, so you could argue because it's a late 2 and then you take away the fifth-round pick, it's really a high 3, whatever. He went for a 2 is what everyone in the NFL would ultimately tell you, and what Howie Roseman would tell you. Well, we have A.J. Brown. That's a better wide receiver than DJ Moore. And so if DJ Moore went for a 2, well, we're definitely getting at least a 1 for A.J. Brown. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles asking price could be a little high, a 1 and a 3. Oh, man, that is really steep for the 29-year-old wide receiver. But the difference here is you have his contract done, yes. And, well, the Philadelphia Eagles have to, if they were to trade him, their salary cap is actually going to go up by $20 million, Amanda. This does not help the Philadelphia Eagles salary cap situation, sending away one of their best players. You could say and argue quite well that it doesn't help the Philadelphia Eagles on the field in 2026, but there is no question it does not help their salary cap situation in 2026 if they trade him. And so because of that, Howie Roseman is going to stick to what he wants before he trades away A.J. Brown. But that said, this could also be a game of chicken, because folks believe, or you could say that they know, that the Eagles aren't going to hang on to A.J. Brown, certainly past that June 1 date where it would be easier for them to let him go because of the cap. So because of all of that, we are almost at an impasse, almost at a standoff. Where is A.J. Brown going to go? You're going to hear the New England Patriots. You're going to hear them for very good reason. I would say that they're probably at the top right now, but until a real offer escapes the lips of those in Foxborough and goes to the ear of Howie Roseman in Philadelphia, no deal yet has been done.
The Eagles trying to get back to the Super Bowl, as are the Kansas City Chiefs. You mentioned in your notebook that the Chiefs are looking for running back help. Arguably, one of the biggest names out there, Kenneth Walker, the third Super Bowl champ and Super Bowl MVP. The Seahawks decided not to tag him. So the Chiefs are interested. The Broncos, the Jags, all potential contenders next season. Where do things stand around Kenneth Walker III?
Yeah, so those three teams certainly in the mix. We'll see if the Kansas City Chiefs, with their precious money, want to allocate so much of that to Kenneth Walker III. What is that number going to wind up being? It's going to be $12 million per year, 13, 14 for the Super Bowl MVP. Man, what a fantastic playoff run. Really good time for Kenneth Walker III to have that sort of run, right when it was time to cash in. The Broncos, though, they did have R.J. Harvey, though they did have J.K. Dobbins this past season. I'm told that they are interested in Kenneth Walker III. And then the Jaguars, probably not bringing back Travis Etienne. Yes, they have Bashal Tutin, but could they make a move? We know that James Gladstone, the young general manager there, likes to zig maybe when others zag, likes to be aggressive. We saw that last year in the draft when they made that move for Travis Hunter. So why wouldn't the Jacksonville Jaguars do something that, maybe you wouldn't expect them to do in making that run at Kenneth Walker III? Could there be another team that emerges? The Giants, I know they've been tossed about a little bit. I don't know that that's the sandbox the Giants are going to be playing in necessarily for Kenneth Walker III and at that price point. But I would anticipate that plenty of contenders are interested in his services, and those being Kansas City, Denver, and Jacksonville, certainly three of them.
And, of course, you could potentially just stay there in Seattle. I think the fans would be happy about that. You've cracked open your notebook a little bit for us. We're going to open it up even more. We've got some of your stories here, rapid fire. These are your notes from your article. I encourage everybody to check it out on CBSSports.com. Okay, I think producer Noah is putting you to the test here. Rapid fire, take us through these stories and what we need to know about them.
Well, first of all, I'm going into my notebook right now. Kyler Murray emerging as a potential suitor with the Minnesota Vikings. Why? Well, he's only going to cost $1.3 million. Why? Because he's going to be able to choose where he wants to go, because he is still a capable enough player. The Minnesota Vikings need a capable veteran quarterback to go up against J.J. McCarthy and hopefully win that competition in Week 1. Dolphins struggling to move Tua Tagovailoa. I know you're going to say, wow, Jonathan, is that really news? Didn't you report that months ago? Yes, but sometimes we recycle the news, especially as it relates to being a week before they ultimately release him and absorb a historic dead cap hit of $99 million. Could potentially a team trade with the Miami Dolphins and take on his contract? Only if the Miami Dolphins are willing to part with at least a first-round pick and maybe even more. That's not going to happen. He will be released and free to sign with someone at $1.3 million. Kirk Cousins, in a rush to sign? Not really. Remember, 2 years ago with the Atlanta Falcons, he signed just as free agency opened. A bit of a tampering issue that led to, but also what happened 6 weeks later, the Atlanta Falcons at number 8 overall select Michael Penix Jr. Kirk Cousins does not want that to happen again, so he may let things settle in the quarterback market before he lands on a place to go, but he does want to play in 2026. Titans linked to Wan'Dale Robinson. You may say, Jonathan, is that really news? Isn't that the worst kept secret in the NFL? Yes, it is, but somebody has to write it, and, well, I'm Jonathan Jones, and I'm writing it. And lastly, the Jets face a very difficult situation there at quarterback. This is not a very good football team. Who wants to go play for the New York Jets if they have options? Not very many people. So what is going to happen? Either someone is going to get traded there, or the Jets are going to have to open up the pocketbook and overpay for someone to acquire their services. But if you're a Kyler Murray, do you want to go to the Jets? No. If you're a Tua Tagovailoa, does either side want Tua in New York? I don't think so. We'll see what sort of veteran they ultimately can land on there. With gangrene, that is the end of the notebook.
Jonathan Jones, that is why you are the very best. Kudos to you for knowing all of that off the top of your head. Make sure to follow him on social media. Check out, once again, his article, his Insider Notebook on CBSSports.com. Okay, next week, a very, very busy week in the NFL. Monday, that tampering window, it opens. Teams are able to talk to those free agents. And then Wednesday, they can sign them. The league year officially begins.